Hello, everyone. I just wanted to jump in for a few moments and speak to you. It's been about 3 years since I've uploaded a video here to YouTube. I felt like once I got my testimony series, videos 1 through 10, complete, I felt like that was the objective that God wanted me to do, was to get the testimony on here to help inspire those who are planning to leave the religion or transitioning or what have you, or to encourage those who have left that they have made the right decision in leaving. I just wanted to jump in and tell you, after 3 years, there's been some circumstances that have taken place, and I feel like that, God is wanting me to come back to the YouTube channel and put some teaching videos up. So that's what I'm going to do. There's some background here. There's some things that's taken place that I want to tell you about really quickly. That's happened. About a year ago, I started getting this severe pain in my lower left back. And it progressed so bad that I got to the point to where I couldn't stand up no more than maybe 8 to 10 minutes at a time, much less walk 8 to 10 minutes at a time without having to immediately sit back down. My entire left leg, all the way to my toes, would go numb and start tingling and all that nonsense. So obviously I had to have some doctor work done. At first, I dismissed it as just simple sciatica because I've had that before and it went away on its own. After a few months, it obviously wasn't going away. I went to the doctor. They run some tests, misdiagnosed it the first time, misdiagnosed it the second time. And then the third time, finally sent me for an MRI, and we found out that I needed some work on my spine. L4, L5, had to have some repair done in my lower back. That's complete. The reason I tell you that is because as of around June the 20th, I went out on short-term disability as I was being prepared for my surgery. I couldn't work. I couldn't concentrate. I sat at a desk all day long. I work at one of the nation's largest financial institutions. And I just got to where I couldn't concentrate, couldn't sit, couldn't do nothing. So I went out on short-term disability. In that time period, I did not just sit idle and do nothing. I felt like God inspired me to read the Bible again from cover to cover, because there were some things He wanted to show me in the Bible that I had never seen before. I started at Genesis chapter 1, and I read the entire Bible from cover to cover to the end of Revelation. I did it in like 3.5 months, and I didn't speed read it. I had nothing else to do except sit home all day long in my recliner and read. So I took a lot of notes, and I saw some things that I feel like God wanted to show me that I had never seen before. I'm not saying or implying that God is exclusively breaking new spiritual news through me to you, as if I'm like your new governing body or your new prophet or anything like that, because that's not the case. When I was raised up a Jehovah's Witness from birth, I was taught, do not read the Bible independently. You cannot understand it without our interpreting it for you. So there's no need for you to read it. Well, in that, we were taught specific bits and pieces of the Bible that support their doctrines that make everything about the Jehovah's Witness religion look more biblical. And then they, of course, translated their own Bible. They changed over 300 scriptures in it to make their teachings look more biblical. So if you compare their teachings with their Bible, the New World Translation, then yes, it looks more biblical. By all means. It's called manipulation and deception, folks. Well, anyway, when reading the Bible from Genesis, this is the second time that I've read it from cover to cover. I took a lot of notes. God showed me a lot of things and all that. And I just want to start putting some videos together here to show some things that God, so that He taught me and brought to light that I never saw before as a Jehovah's Witness. Many of you may have already seen what I'm going to share here, but many of you may have not. So that's what I'm going to start doing. I've been working on this, doing research on certain things. As I was reading the Old Testament, there's a lot in there that will really stump you. Specifically, when you go through the New Testament and you see what a loving God, what a loving Creator we have, and when you go through the Old Testament, there's some things in there that took place that will kind of stump you. It'll have you asking a lot of questions, and it had that effect on me this time. So I was struggling, and I was asking God about some things that I saw in there, specifically with there was a lot of death in the Old Testament, and many times God, He ordered it. He told them, go in here and destroy this entire nation of people, men, women, and children. I never understood that. I was like, oh my God, there's no mercy in that. So in the natural, in the flesh, in this fallen world, it has us asking questions like that. And I would pray about it. Lord, you're going to have to help me here because I'm struggling. I just don't understand all this. Well, he's shown me some things. In May of this year, I was sitting in church during praise and worship on a Sunday morning, and I had been struggling and praying with this, and I heard the words greater purpose. And I felt inspired that is when I was supposed to start reading from Genesis all the way through Revelation and search for the greater purpose in everything that God was doing in that time period. Everything served a purpose. And I went back and I began studying it and taking notes, and I'm like, I see it, Lord. I see the greater purpose. I understand it. For the most part, I understand it. There's still a few questions I have, but for the most part, I understand what he was trying to show me. And that's what I want to bring here to this channel. I saw some things in there that really sparked my imagination, and it inspired a few videos where I'm just going to discuss some things that really intrigued me. Specifically, like it, for example, in Genesis chapter 3, at the fall of mankind, where God addressed the serpent. He said to the serpent, because you did this. He didn't say to Satan, because you did this. He specifically addressed the serpent and said, because you did this. I saw something there that I had never seen before, and I have a video put together that I'm going to be releasing fairly quickly, where I'm going to share this observance. It's very interesting. I've run it by some other people, and they're like, wow, this is pretty interesting. So I'm going to bring stuff like that here. Also, for the past year and a half, I've been teaching discipleship at my church. When I was called in the office about a year and a half ago, I was told, hey, 3 different people have been independently asked about this. Who should be teaching this discipleship class? All 3 independently mentioned your name. Okay, well, that's evidence of the Holy Spirit speaking. When I was called into the office, I said, absolutely, I'll do it. I feel like it's my calling. But what curriculum do you want me to teach? I was told, go write it. So I went home, did some research. I did borrow discipleship resources from other church resources. And what I came up with is, and I prayed about it. So what the Holy Spirit inspired me to do is I came up with this. And my name is not on this. I don't own it, and I do not sell it. This belongs to the Lord. It's His word. It's not mine, and I'm not going to profit off of it. But basically, I asked them, when they printed it, Matthew 28:19, I want this on the cover. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. There's 12 lessons in this book. I'm going to put a screenshot on the screen so that everyone can see it. It's basically lesson 1 is foundations. Lesson 2, the vine and the branches, prayer. Lesson 3, the Bible. Lesson 4, the importance of Christian fellowship. Lesson 5, what is Christianity? Lesson 6, serving Christ. Lesson 7 is on faith. Lesson 8, when we come to faith, do we have any assurance that comes with it? So lesson 8 is titled Assurance. There's lesson 9 and 10. That's the Holy Spirit part 1 and Holy Spirit part 2. Lesson 11, the being a disciple. What does it look like being a disciple? And then lesson 12 is defeating evil. These are 12 lessons that I compiled and put together after praying about it. And I feel like that God inspired it. When I was teaching this, the first session, there was a couple of gentlemen in there who actually are prison ministers. They go into the prisons and they teach. This is basic discipleship, basic. But these men have been Christians for a long time, and they were humble enough to come in and sit through a discipleship class, just the basic discipleship. Well, they've been in prisons and the jail ministry. They do it every single week, and they've been doing it for years. They were so amazed and intrigued at this curriculum that they asked for copies of it because they're bringing it into the prison system to disciple the prisoners with it. So every time I taught it, the feedback was just phenomenal. People were just absolutely amazed at some of the things that they were hearing. And again, it's basic discipleship. It's not for everyone. There are some who are well past basic discipleship. But what we do is we forget as Christians, and the devil tries to get us to do this, we forget that people are coming to faith every single day and becoming Christians. There is a multitude every single day that are coming to faith and becoming Christians. And they need to be discipled. So the enemy will get us to focus on the the Christians that have been Christians for a long time, the seasoned Christians. And then the newer Christians tend to not get discipled because of that. So God reminded me of that, and that is where my focus is. There are many who are leaving the Jehovah's Witness religion. They're transitioning. There's many that have already left who still need to be discipled. They're learning to trust what they are seeing in these churches, because these churches have been demonized to them all of their lives, or however long they were associated with the Jehovah's Witnesses. And they're learning to trust. They need to be discipled. I'm a member of a Facebook group, and I've seen many, many comments on there. It's like Help Jehovah's Witness Facebook groups. I'm a member of 2 of them. And there are people leaving that religion, and they're in transition. And they're putting comments on there, help. I'm so confused. I don't know where to start. I know that I need to leave the religion, but I don't know where to start. This is for you. If you are there in a situation like that, or if you just feel like that you need to be discipled a little further, or would just like to join us here, then stick around. I don't care about clicks and subscriptions. I don't care if you comment and interact with the videos, because I'm not here to make money. I just want to share Jesus. That's the only objective. So if you feel like you can benefit from anything in this, with the discipleship and the other videos, there's other teaching videos I'm going to be putting on here, then I encourage you to stick around if you choose to. If you don't, that's perfectly fine. You go where the Lord leads you. I'm just one voice of many who is willing to disciple and teach others. There's a struggle that many Christians struggle with, and that is the will of God. People say, well, what is the will of God in my life? I just don't know His will. I struggle to know it and all of that. Okay, think about it like this, okay? Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. That was the Great Commission. It was given to us by Jesus Himself. How can you not be smack dab in the middle of God's will if you are not willing to disciple and be discipled by others? I'm willing to disciple, but I have older men in my church who disciple into me. They tell me when I'm right, and they tell me when I'm wrong. And I certainly appreciate their counsel. If you tune in the future and watch these videos, I got to say this really quick, because I keep hearing the cars pass. I don't have an elaborate studio, and I don't want one. I film right here in my office. I have a professional microphone. The microphone is so sensitive. You're going to hear cars running up and down the road. You're going to hear the cows across the street, and the donkeys and the guineas and the peacocks and everything else. And occasionally you're likely going to hear my neighbors who live over here arguing, because the microphone is so sensitive. It picks up everything. So that's basically it. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I just want to let everybody know where we're fixing to go on this channel. And I want to invite you to stick around if you would like. If you feel like you can benefit from this. We're going to do the discipleship series. And of course, there's going to be other videos, like I said, other teaching videos, based on things that God has shown me and taught me that I never saw before when I was being raised up a Jehovah's Witness. This is not just for the Jehovah's Witness or former Jehovah's Witness community. This is Christian discipleship. So it doesn't matter what your background is, whether it's Jehovah's Witness or not. If you want to be discipled, if you would like to stick around for these lessons, then I encourage you to do so. And I certainly look forward to it. And I'm going to let y'all go for now, and I will see you in the next video.